The Super Bowl is coming to North Texas. Keep up with it. Go to my website, www.donniesport.com, and click on the North Texas Super Bowl icon on the links page.
About it. And for me, I've always been somebody who likes to prove people wrong. And for our group to be able to come together and maintain our focus and concentration and work through that. And you've heard the word family used several times by the guys out there, whether it was Abner talking about his time at North Texas and maybe not the family sense of coming together as a football team, but actually fighting issues from society. But all of us have experienced that. And that's what our group was. And I'm sure that Joe's team in Pittsburgh, when you do things to that level, there has to be that sense of family. And Roger and Tony's group in the 70s for the Dallas Cowboys. And that's the thing that I'm most proud of, is the teammates that I had during that time have become very good friends. And we've kind of crossed that line of just being people who played together on a team and did something very, very unique and very, very special to people who cared a lot about each other and have stayed in contact and are still very good friends to this day.
Some of you even almost worked together. Michael, yes, Joe?
I want to mention something about repeating what you did not say, is that 7 year, you played 16 games, or you played 16 Super Bowls. And everybody wants to beat the champion. So you did an outstanding job.
And Joe knows that because of how the Steelers won. Michael, of course, predated Troy and Darrell by a year, and so he is a direct connection to Tom Landry's era and represents Super Bowl 30 on the ballot. I remember that as being something of a tumultuous year in the locker room. It wasn't smooth sailing. It wasn't necessarily quite as many, outwardly, quite the same thing that was going on in 92. But you tell us, what was 95?
Well, first of all, let me say this. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. And that was the third Super Bowl. That was our third Super Bowl. And we had gone through the first two, Super Bowl 27. I want to tell North Texas this, too. And we all say it, all of them are important, but the reality is nothing's like the first. And we will have that first year next year. So let's just get ready up and get ready for that. And that will be fun. But that third Super Bowl, it was great. And it was tough because we also had lost Coach Johnson. And inside the locker room, we wanted to prove that we could still go out. We enjoyed playing together. And like Darrell said, we were a family. We wanted to go out and prove that we could still win a Super Bowl. We love Coach Johnson, but now Coach Switzer was the coach. And it was whenever you make a change like that, difficult times come with it, but we weathered the storm, and we did win a Super Bowl. And I think those tough times are what made our teams so fun to play with and play on. And Troy mentioned, just a few short years before we won Super Bowl 27, we would be having team meetings trying to understand why we are getting our heads kicked in the way we are getting our heads kicked in. And then after the team meeting, we go and get our heads kicked in. There's nothing we could do about it. But having those tough times, and then sitting in that locker room in Super Bowl 30, winning 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, and looking around, that was the first time I really reminisced on the history that we were creating. And I thought, wow, can you believe that we had won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years? And it was just, and you go back to, wow, after getting our heads kicked in like that. So it was a beautiful thing to accomplish. It was a beautiful thing to share with the people of Texas. And I tell you again, just can't wait for that Super Bowl to be here next year.
I ran this a little long. Was it worth it? Was it worth it for you guys?
Super Bowl is coming to North Texas. Keep up with it. Go to my website, www.donniesport.com, and click on the North Texas Super Bowl icon on the links page.
Back in the 90s, I was doing an Auburn, Alabama game, and I was standing on the sidelines, and it was a great atmosphere. And I'm looking at the crowd, and I'm listening to the word, and the players on the field, and I said, man, to myself, it would have been great to be a part of this. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, I was. The old Southwest Conference in those days, that was the deal. And we had great players. The city embraced us. It was it was a beautiful time playing with my teammate Eric Dickerson. It's a football fraternity like you guys here and all y'all's teammates and memories. Eric was such a great player and a teammate. He elevated the rest of us. And just watching him run, the way he glided, when he figured out that he could run over you as well as around you, it was over with. But having great teammates and in the city of Dallas was just a special time of our lives.
Great, thank you. Troy, pass that.
The year previously, as a senior at the University of Pittsburgh, we were there playing in the Sugar Bowl. We won a national championship there in the same stadium, and then come back a year later as a rookie, going back to the same city, same stadium, and playing for a world championship with the Dallas Cowboys. And I was just tickled pink just to be able to get on the field and be playing in the Super Bowl. When I thought about, my first Super Bowl, you think about it, and you think about all the great players that played before me, the Gale Sayers, the Jim Browns, and some of the guys that were playing not at that time, but you look at Barry Sanders and some of these great Earl Campbell, some of these great players and runners that played national football that never had a chance to play. And so, and for me as a rookie, and I scored the first touchdown, that was probably one of the highlights of my career even to this day.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We're going to
The Super Bowl is coming to North Texas. Keep up with it. Go to my website, www.donniesport.com, and click on the North Texas Super Bowl icon on the links page.